Of course, 2005. The WWF. And this is another one that's so complicated. I hate we're running long. But God damn it. When Jim Ross was the head of talent relations in the WWE, we were fine. Even though that's the era that they got the comedy writers involved in the show and they were doing the necrophilia and Mark Henry gave birth to a hand, or no, Mae Young gave birth to a hand and went out with Mark Henry, and Mark Henry got a blowjob from a transvestite or what. I don't know what the fuck. As far as relating business to business, OVW and WWE as a promotion were fine when Jim Ross was head of talent relations, because JR very simply viewed, if you can't follow his rules, can't follow ours. And JR was from the era where when promotions worked together with each other, they worked together with each other with either a bit of fucking respect for each other, or elsewise they went full on promotional war. But there was not one side was a complete flunky in the relationship, which is what happened when John Laurinaitis took over, because JR wanted to move back to Oklahoma before he committed murder up here in Connecticut. So as a result, John Laurinaitis knew how to push my buttons. He knew that Stephanie and Triple H weren't OVW fans, because obviously they wanted to start the whole thing in Florida so they could give their friends jobs without having to move anybody to Kentucky, the whole 9 yards. But anyway, the 6 or 8 weeks previous to my final straw was a shit show again. There was the week that it was a Wednesday. It was about 5-something p.m. We were going to roll tape on our television in about an hour and a half, and Laurinaitis is on the phone again telling me who I should put on the show that night, like I hadn't even written it yet, or what I should do, or what I should have him say. And I got mad and said, fuck it, let them goddamn write and book and announce this fucking thing. And I got in the car and went home and quit. By the time I got home, I felt bad about OVW, because that was my company. At this point, I could give a fuck whether WWE burst in flames or not, because they had fucked us around on so many different deals. But I went back and I gave the rah-rah speech, fuck the WWE, this is OVW, and people are expecting a show. So then the very next week, Laurinaitis, I can't remember what that one was, came up with some reason to suspend me because he said, Jim, you're burnt. You need to. I said, you think? So he suspended me for 6 weeks. I said, wait a minute. You're telling me you're going to pay me for 6 weeks, but I don't have to do any of the work, because he got Dreamer to book OVW for 6 weeks. Right? More on this in a minute. I said, all right, I've been needing a vacation 6 fucking years straight through hernia surgeries, the death of my mother, floods in my fucking basement of my house, whatever the fuck. I've been doing this all by myself as far as writing and announcing this fucking show and booking these fuckers. I'll take 6 weeks paid vacation. So in that 6 weeks, Tommy Dreamer, and I love you, Tommy, if you're listening, but goddamn, you should never be allowed near a fucking pencil. He not only booked a thing into fucking oblivion right in the middle of our Six Flags season coming up, but he had started a mystery of where had I been, without fucking having a finish in mind. He started a murder mystery, but he didn't know who did it when he started it. Because I said, I'm watching this, I'm like, what the fuck? So the week I was supposed to go back, I called him, I said, what is the mystery here? Where have I been? He said, I don't know, I said, okay. So I fucking ended up coming back and doing a 20-minute interview trying to reset my television show, where I blamed Star Maker Bolin for burying me to the fucking evil John Laurinaitis at the WWE. It's the only way to explain what had been going on the program. And then we did that show, and if I'm not mistaken, right after we put that show in the can, advertising Randy Orton the following week at Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom, with me and Bolin in the corners and a Kiss My Foot step. No, me and Bolin had done the Kiss My Foot thing, right? We did that to get out of that, where he had run me off for 6 weeks or whatever. And then the following week, we did a TV advertising Randy Orton at Six Flags, and then found out from Tommy Dreamer that John Laurinaitis, even though he had confirmed this with us by email 3 months beforehand, and we'd put it in our book and sold it to Six Flags, had never told Randy Orton, and he got a non-refundable vacation for him and his family and couldn't come. With a week's notice, I had to re-rack the TV and bring me and Bolin back in another grudge after we'd blown it off previously. And I blew up about something else. What the fuck was it? I can't remember. But I blew up about that. I blew up. Oh, and then I left the fucking, when I left the show in the dark match because Kevin Fertig, had gotten in the ring and was working the dark match with a fucking baseball cap on. And I just left. I said, tell Seven if I'd have waited until he got back, I'd have caved his fucking head in with a baseball bat. So I went home. And then he calls me up and says, you can't say things like that. I said, you know what? I can say anything I goddamn want to my fucking talent, John. It's because it's my fucking company. Now the question is, do I work for you? He said, no, we're going to let you go. I said, okay, you're going to let me go from my consultant's agreement. I still own part of OVW. So what are we going to do there? He said, well, I said, tell you what, fuck all of it. As long as you don't make OVW, my ownership in it, any less valuable, you find whoever you want to book this and whoever you want to announce this, and I'm done. And I'll just be home. And of course, within what was it, a year and a half from that point, they had run the fucking thing into the ground, and Heyman fucking ran our TV ratings into hash marks trying to book ECW style and et cetera, et cetera. And I told the story. So that was yes, I'm fired. But he couldn't fire me.
When was the Santino incident?
Oh, that's right. That's when I slapped Santino. I forgot about him. I slapped Santino the week after I found out that fucking Laurinaitis had fucking, because I was already ready anyway. I was a raw nerve end every time I went in that building. I was ready to fucking go. Yeah. We found out Santino. We found out Orton wasn't coming, and the very next TVs where I slapped Santino, because I never did go back to the final blow off against Bolin. Dreamer worked that one too. So yeah, that was the week I slapped Santino. But anyway, it was fucking chaos. So yes, so they fired me from the WWE. I still own part of OVW, but I quit what I was doing and still got the same amount of money from OVW until everybody else they put in place of it fucking made it less valuable. And then, as I've mentioned, me and Danny worked the fucking angle on them to get them to advance him the money to buy me out. So that one is a fired and fuck you, but actually it wasn't even fuck you. I was just telling everybody exactly what the fuck happened. I wasn't like, I hope the WWF dies. I was very upset with John Laurinaitis. But you know, so I don't even think that was a very strenuous fuck you to the company as much as just Laurinaitis is a complete idiot and signed the wrong one-legged guy and fucking killed the only really good developmental organization they ever had until they figured out NXT would work if they put a couple $1 million in it. So, that was 2005. I started working for the WWE in 93. So that was 12 years. Most people don't get 12 years in one fashion or another, do they?
Not in the WWE. Well, actually nowadays, I guess they do more than ever before.
Well, yeah, because they just, they don't, nobody wants to go anywhere else because there's nowhere else to go, and nobody's worth going anywhere else because nobody gets over enough to go anywhere else. So they just kind of do stay. You're right. But anyway, yeah, 12 years. And during that time also, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, obviously I didn't quit or get fired because I was working for myself.